The Xiaomi Mi4 is possibly the most unashamed copycat phone you'll ever lay eyes on. It looks almost exactly like an iPhone 5 or iPhone 5s. But despite the flagrant plagiarism on show, the Mi4 is arguably one of the best Android devices of 2014. It manages to combine incredible power with impeccable build quality and excellent software, and all for around £250. Despite the 5-inch screen, the Mi4 feels thin and tall, just like the iPhone. This is largely thanks to the very narrow bezels either side of the display, which give an almost edge-to-edge screen, at least horizontally. At 8.9mm, the Mi4 is impressively svelte, but the aforementioned bulge on the rear panel makes it feel a little fatter than it actually is. The sides of the phone showcase the micro SIM slot, volume key, and power button. Compared to most Android devices, the placement of these buttons is switched. The power key resides below the volume rocker. This takes some getting used to, and we found that we often hit the power button by accident when removing the handset from our pocket or when making a call. Along the top edge of the Mi4 is the 3.5mm headphone socket and the IR blaster, which can be used to control your television set, amongst other things. The bottom edge has a grill for the single speaker and a micro USB slot for charging and data transfer. Strangely, Xiaomi has opted for the little seen microSD base standard, which boasts a square-shaped connector. You can still use the more common microSD lead, but because of the shape of the port there's the danger that you could insert the cable the wrong way around and damage the connection. Needless to say, caution should be taken when trying to top up your battery late at night when you've had one too many naughty beverages. The Mi4 comes in two storage flavors, 16GB and 64GB. We're reviewing the former, and when you take into account all of the software that comes preloaded which you can't uninstall, the end user has about 1GB to play with. Sadly, like its forerunner the Mi3, the Mi4 lacks a micro SD card slot, so you can't augment that total with cheap flash media. However, the Mi4 does go one better than the Mi3 by finally moving to the now ubiquitous micro SIM standard. Xiaomi has taken the decision to launch the Mi4 in two basic configurations. The first, which is the one we're reviewing, only supports 3 Guaranis. A revised model with support for 4G networks is expected any day now, but that hasn't stopped the 3G only model selling like hotcakes in its native China. Elsewhere, the Mi4 has dual-band 802.11a/b/g/n/AC Wi-Fi, an IR blaster, GPS, and DLNA support, but it lacks an NFC chip, something which was present in the Mi3. Like the Mi3, the Mi4 has a 5-inch LCD display with a 1080p Full HD resolution. Unlike some of its Android competitors, this phone hasn't stepped into the finger-stretching realms of supersized screens. This is still a roomy display, but it's a little more manageable than devices like the OnePlus One and LG G3, each of which boasts a 5.5-inch panel that gives your thumbs a serious workout. The IPS display doesn't quite have the pop of the Samsung Galaxy S5's AMOLED panel, but it's still bright, punchy and easy to view at any angle. It's also easy to view in direct sunlight, and the 1080p resolution ensures that individual pixels can't be seen unless you bring out the magnifying glass. The Xiaomi Mi4 is rocking MIUI v5, a heavily customized and surprisingly nippy version of Android 4.4.2 that comes with a wide range of differences, the most striking of which is the fact that there's no app drawer. All of your apps are laid out on the home screen and you can arrangement them in various folders to keep things tidy, just like iOS. However, you can still use active widgets to liven things up a little. Although it's running Android, there's a distinct lack of Google action in terms of pre-installed applications. With a quad-core 2.5 GHz Snapdragon 801 chipset on board and 3 GB of RAM to keep things ticking over, it should come as no great surprise to learn that the Mi4 is a blisteringly swift piece of tech. Xiaomi has always been very open about where it sources its parts, and even lists the Mi 4's camera as the Sony's Exmor IMX214 on specification sheets. It's a 13-megapixel variant that's supported by an LED flash for low-light shooting. The Mi 4's custom camera software comes with a range of features, including HDR, burst shooting and panoramic capabilities. It also allows you to lock the focus of the sensor by dragging a box over an object. This feature works well in practice and is handy when you're taking close-up images of fidgeting offspring, but it's less successful when dealing with fast-moving targets. Beating at the heart of the Mi4 is a 3,080 mAh power cell, which in theory should give the handset a shade more stamina than phones like Samsung Galaxy S5, 2,800 mAh, or LG G3, 3,000 mAh. While the complexities of mobile hardware mean that more capacity doesn't necessarily mean longer battery life, the Mi4 was able to last well over a day on a single charge, which is something which cannot always be said for many other Android smartphones. Like the Mi3, this successor has a single speaker positioned on the bottom of the device. You don't get the deep stereo sound witnessed on the likes of the HTC One M8, but the overall volume is impressive. The speaker won't cause you to miss a call or text message, even when in a noisy, crowded environment. During calls, the Mi4 performed admirably. We were able to hear the caller without any issues, and thanks to a second, noise-canceling microphone located on the back of the phone, our own speech came over loud and clear, even when we were outdoors. Verdict: the Mi4 is undoubtedly the best thing to come out of Xiaomi's Chinese factory so far, and offers cutting-edge power, an eye-catching, iPhone-like design and an excellent custom version of the Android OS. However, for buyers outside of China, it's something of a hard sell, despite the £200 price point.